I don't know if you guys saw this, but Chris Bosh is not happy about him not being a finalist for the Hall of Fame. Now, let me explain something. I think Chris, there's no doubt in my mind, has a point on being pissed off about this. The question is, why is he left off? Now, could it be because of the whole Kobe thing and they want to kind of keep it kind of limited to a couple guys and maybe focus in on the Kobe thing and make it something special, and hey, we can put off, Bosh for another year, which you can. He's still going to get in. I mean, he's got the stats. The stats are there. I don't need to tell you. In fact, in this article, they even wrote a great part of this stat for him. Bosh is one of 13 players in NBA history to average 19.2 points and 8.5 that included at least 11 All-Star selections. The other 12 that have done it, Kareem, Wilt, Karl Malone, Shaq, Barkley, Moses Malone, out that Chris Bosh is a Hall of Famer. 11 All-Stars, 2 titles. I mean, there's no way you can argue the way he played, the clutch moments. He owns the biggest rebound, the biggest assist, and the biggest block in Miami Heat history. Okay? And so there is no argument here. Now, they did it because of the Kobe thing. There's no doubt. But I also want to tell you this. If Bosh, let's just for craps and giggles, he doesn't have the blood clot and he's able to finish his career out. First, he wouldn't be eligible right now because he might still be playing right now. This might be one of his, final years in the league. But there is no doubt in my mind that the blood clot is what also created this whole mess and why he's not in now. And, he goes on to say in this article, let me read it for you. He goes, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a competitive man. I've been competing my whole life. A lot of people don't really know that about me, but I'm a fierce competitor. Losing bothers me. Coming up short bothers me. It always has. Since the moment I started playing basketball, it kind of bleeds over into everything that I do. So I'll just go ahead of this and tell you and hear it from me. I'm disappointed. Okay? One of the things that people like to say is, next year, Bosh says. What if there's not a next year? That's something that I think about every day. And I hope you think about it as well, because if there's not a tomorrow, what does that even mean? That is a definite question. That has to be on my mind quite a bit, but I just have to be honest with you guys. I'm very disappointed. And listen, for a guy that has 5 stents in his heart, I can reason with Chris Bosh on, I don't know if there's a tomorrow. This is a guy that's had multiple blood clots. This is why when adversity, what we talked about at the beginning of the show with adversity? So what do? Do you give in to adversity? Do you succumb to it? Do you say, oh, woe is me? And do you just crawl into a shell and then eventually you die and you wither away? No, you fight. You fight. That's what you get up and you try to come. That's what we do in life every single day. And for Chris Bosh, competitor, where he belongs and what he deserves. And he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He belongs in the Hall of Fame. And yes, he will eventually get in next year. Wait another year because of a blood clot, because of a Kobe celebration. That's wrong. It's wrong. But there's no doubt in my mind that both things came into play here. And, Duncan and Garnett, the other two, I get it. You put those guys even over Bosh. So they kind of put the super no-brainers even though Bosh is a no-brainer. And they said, all right, we're going to limit it to that so we can kind of focus and celebrate Kobe and all that other stuff. And I don't have a problem with that. But you are cheating a man out of what he deserves. Now, Chris Bosh is not the first guy to get cheated. Is not the first guy that has to wait to get into the Hall of Fame when he deserves it. So I also can't paint a picture like this is a first. Nobody ever does this to players. No, it's been done many, many times over. Happens practically every year. Right? But I do understand the dejection, the disappointment that Chris Bosh feels. Not that I can relate to it because obviously I'm not a Hall of Famer in anything, but I can relate to him being hurt and saying, hey, man, I deserve this. I earned this. I belong there with the rest of those guys. And he does. So I hope, he gets to enjoy that moment next year with his family. But there's no doubt in my mind. Think about this, okay? Wade leaves. Bosh takes over. There's no blood clot. That team wouldn't be too bad. That team was going to be pretty damn good. And Bosh was going to get his opportunity to be the lead guy. That would have been really cool, ladies and gentlemen, to see what Bosh would have done as the lead guy, which would have also enhanced everything he did. But he suffers the blood clot, he suffers the health issues, and they steal the rest of his career away. That blood clot stole the rest of his career away. And so he never got to add another chapter because think about this. He did it for what was it, 7 years, I think, in Toronto. And he got to the playoffs, but really didn't make much of an impact. Then he comes and joins LeBron and Wade and Ray Allen, and they go on to win multiple titles. And then he would have gotten an opportunity to be the lead guy again, but with Pat Riley running the show. And that might have set him up again to maybe, who knows, make a deep run, get to another finals, possibly win one. And you know that he becomes like one of those no-brainer guys that Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett are. Right? And you can't, it's one of those where we can't deny him, we can't set him back. But because of the blood clot, because he kind of didn't get to complete his career, we can get away with pushing him back for a year. And that's not right either. But you think about the opportunity that he would have had being able to do what I told you. That would have been really cool. Got to feel for Bosh on that one, man. Really do.
When he played, there's no doubt he was a top 6, 7 player in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was that dominating and kind of give him some major props because of taking a back seat, you know what I mean, for the betterment of the team. When he came to Miami, there, he was the third option,
Yeah. No, I'm with you. No doubt. But I just I saw that story and I wanted to talk a little bit about it because I agreed with him. Sadly, I kind of understand what's gone on. Not that I agree with what went on. I agree with Chris Bosh. It's like, well, no, man, just put me in there. I belong in there. I'm a first ballot guy. And I hate the fact that he had the blood clot because obviously that set the heat back, and that was brutal, too, to deal with. I hated that he was even trying to come back from the blood clot. And it was kind of his part. I get it. He's trying to do what he loves. But damn, I mean, that's some serious stuff. You'd accomplish everything. And you know what? That he needed that end of the career so he would have no delays into getting into the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.